Hey everyone, and happy Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode of Christ and Crafting. I'm really excited about what we're going to be doing today and what we're going to be talking about, because we're going to be talking about the parable of the lost sheep, and we're going to be talking about this phrase where it says that Jesus left the 99 to rescue the one. It's really interesting. It's got many layers to it. And anyways, I'm just excited to do this craft and then excited to talk to you and go into the Bible. So as you're hopping on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to sprinkle, especially if you have friends out there that are either believers, Christ followers, or maybe not, but they are seeking or asking questions. So, and then also, of course, feel free to share this with any crafty friends that you might have. So let's just hop right in and get started. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making some t-shirts with this. This is such a great stencil. It's from Maker Studio. I don't have a link here, but when I'm all finished, I'll drop a few through the comments. And if you want links for this or the gel art ink that we'll be using, just let me know in the comments. If you're watching this here on Facebook or on YouTube, just let me know and I'll get you that information. Anyways, this is such a great witnessing tool. And having a t-shirt on is a great conversation starter. It could also make a really wonderful gift for someone. So before we came live, I used this stencil and some white gel art ink with this t-shirt that I purchased at Target. Let me hold it a little closer so you can see. And I just used the white ink to stencil the front of this t-shirt. It's this great turquoise color. It was from Target. It's that Universal Thread brand. These t-shirts do run kind of small, so I got an extra large. And it just takes maybe an hour for the ink to dry. I also did something cool, which I always love to do, some little something on the sleeve. So on the right sleeve, I used these little embellishments that come with the He Left the 99 stencil. And there's a crown of thorns in here that I love. And I just put that on the right sleeve. You could always do the same thing on the other sleeve if you want, but I think it's more interesting to just have one. So we're going to do a white t-shirt, and I'm going to show you how to create this really cool ombre effect where we're going to use navy blue, this gorgeous teal color that I love, and a bright emerald green, and we're going to kind of smoosh it all together. It's going to be really pretty. But I want to encourage you guys that in addition to t-shirts, you could make some darling baby onesies, and you could put, you know, some little decorations on the bum, and then the He Left the 99 for me on the front of the baby onesie. You can also do journals, and I got out a couple that I have done, in the last year or so, just using decoupage on one of these. These are just composition notebooks, you know, from Dollar Tree, Walmart, the grocery store, whatever. And I decoupage on some paper from some vintage encyclopedias that I have. And then I stenciled this one with the Trust in the Lord with All Your Heart stencil that's also from Maker Studio. And I think it would be really cool to do the same thing and put this on it, and it would make just a great little gift for somebody. You can never have too many journals or places to write things down. It could be a prayer journal. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. So the other thing I wanted to show you was how you can use this same ink that we'll be using on the t-shirt to do a lot of different things. Like I made this little zip pouch using that same Trust in the Lord. And then last week, you may or may not have seen that. We made these cute tea towels using the same ink and some other stencils from Maker Studio. Okay, so what is an ombre effect? Well, we did something like it over the summer, I think it was, when we made this t-shirt. Do you guys remember this? And I don't know if the lighting is good enough for you to see right now how this is multiple colors in here. The word hope and then the little heart. This was that t-shirt that we made the ruffled sleeves, but we're gonna do something very similar with this t-shirt right here. So it's just a plain, let's put the camera down. It's a plain white t-shirt, universal thread brand from Target. It was if you purchased 2 of them, they were $7 a piece. So you can't beat that. They're nice quality. These ones have the lady sleeves that I like. They're not super long and frumpy like a men's t-shirt. They're just the perfect length, and they'd be super cute if you wanted to add a ruffle. So what we're gonna do to start out with is, you know, I never hardly ever measure anything because I want to enjoy the process. But with the t-shirt, I think it's important that your design be right in the center. Also, I think it's important that it not be much more than about 2 or 3 finger widths down from the neck. So I'm just taking a ruler, I'm laying it on my t-shirt to eyeball it, to figure out roughly where the center is, and then I will just take my stencil off the backing. I always label the back of it so I know which side to put it back on. These gray stencils from Maker Studio do not need to be fuzzed, so please don't fuzz them. Okay, and then I'm gonna lay this on here. Laying the ruler on top of the t-shirt makes it a little bit easier to get your stencil centered, and also so it's sort of going straight with the shoulders. Okay, can you guys see that? And I put 2 layers of paper towel in between the t-shirt front and back. Can you see that? Because I don't want to stencil He Left the 99 backwards on the back of my t-shirt. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of the Maker Studio spreaders, and I'm just gonna cut it into a couple of pieces. These are 50 cents. They work great. When they get really cruddy and stained, then I'll just throw them away and pull out a new one. So, and I like to work off of paper plates. That for me is the easiest, but maybe you have a glass dish or something that works for you. I'm just gonna take, excuse me, some blobs. This is the teal color of Gel Art ink. It's for fabric, and it is meant to be ironed to heat set it after it's dry, and then it's washable. Oh shoot, hang on 2 seconds. Something always happens. Anyways, it will be permanent once I heat set it with an iron. So this is great stuff, and it works on paper too. This is the same stuff that I used on those journals. So I'm gonna take, this one's called Hey Y'all. It's a great color. I need to order some more of it. I use this stuff all the time. So I'm just taking a big blob. I probably won't need quite that much. And then the navy blue is called, I think it's called Hush Your Mouth. Maker Studio has the funniest names for all their different kinds of paints and stuff. And then the green is called Grass is Always Greener. So that's probably way more than what I need, but that's okay. All right. And I am just going to take one of these smaller pieces here, and I'm going to take some little dabs and kind of place them around in different places on my stencil, and then I'll smush it all together. Okay, so there's some green. Here's some blue. I'll lift this up in just a second and show you what I'm talking about. And then here's some of the teal color. And I do want to be careful not to push my blobs outside of the edge of the stencil, because it's impossible to get it off if you do that. Although this t-shirt was only $7, it wouldn't be a tremendous loss. But anyway, so that is what that looks like, okay? And now I'm just gonna take a bigger piece of spreader. I want to round the corners here just a little bit. Okay. And we're going to do this little swoop-de-doo, pushing our stuff around. We want it to be distinct in different areas, different colors for sure. So I don't want it to all just be one big blob of the same color. I need some more green. So how are you guys doing today? I got some really good news. I'm so excited. I had another COVID test today and it was negative. Yay, I'm so relieved. So I guess that means that I can really go back out into the world without fear that I'm spreading COVID to everybody that I come into contact with. And I mean, mostly I'm just dying to see some of our family that I haven't seen in a while. So anyways, my husband's getting tested either tonight or first thing in the morning. And I'm hoping that since I was negative, that he will be negative also. Anyways, feel very, very fortunate to have gotten that test result. And thank you guys so much for all the prayers and everything. Okay, so I've pretty much just pushed it around. I'm going to look at it closely and see if there's anywhere that it looks like I've missed. And I think I want to add a little bit more of the dark blue in different places. Okay, so we're gonna peek. I have not said hello to anyone. Hey, Deborah. Hi, Kathy. Hey, Tori. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Belinda. Hey, Penny. Thank you guys for joining me today, and thank you so much for all the awesome support that you've been to me, encouragement, prayer. Okay, so as I'm picking this up, I'm just looking to see, are there any areas that might need me to push a little bit more ink through it? Less is always going to be better, so resist the urge to keep going over and over and over your project if possible. That's hard. And it looks absolutely perfect. I love it. I'm just throwing my stencil in a little tub of water over here, upside down. And this is what it looks like. He left the 99 for me. I will take pictures of it up close. Also on this sleeve, I did the right sleeve. I did the crown of thorns. And I put 2 little embellishments on either side, and it was the same idea with the mix of colors. So I think this will be a super cute t-shirt to wear with a pair of jeans, and hopefully it'll be a good conversation starter, because that phrase, he left the 99 for me, is kind of a confusing one. So let me throw this over to the side and get my Bible out, and we'll talk about that. Was there anything else I wanted to show you here? I don't think so. Okay, let me just throw this behind us. Okay. And let's come up here a little higher. So, oh, thank you, Paula, for sprinkling. I really appreciate that. You guys have sent me so many nice cards and said so many nice things. I am feeling about 90%. I'm still a little tired, but I guess that's normal. And I'm still having just a little bit of a lingering cough, but I am not complaining because having COVID is really not very much fun. And I know there's lots of you guys that I've talked to that you've been through that journey also. And a few of you guys are in it right now, and I am thinking about you guys too. Boogie afternoon, Heidi. I don't know what that means. I am super happy to have, I know I have paint all over my table. Okay, so this, just let's go off on the sidetrack for just 1 second. This is just a vinyl, a piece of tablecloth kind of material that I have over the top of my white table. And I need to order some new ones and throw this one away because it's starting to look terrible. Anyways. Okay, so it's funny, I knew what I was going to be talking about earlier this week. God just revealed to me that I was going to be talking about this idea of reckless love that Jesus has for us, that he would leave the 99 to go after the one. So I knew that. I wasn't quite sure what my project was going to be, and I reached out to the owner of Maker Studio, to Amy Howard, last night, just to ask her if she had any suggestions. And she also, she encouraged me the t-shirt idea, and also we thought about doing a baseball cap, but I couldn't find anything that would work great. But that is definitely another good idea. So thank you, Amy, for helping me pinpoint what my craft would be. The concept of leaving 99 to find the one comes from the parable of the lost sheep in Matthew 18, verse 12 to 14, and Luke 15, 3 to 7. And so I'm going to read those verses. We're going to talk a little bit about it. And then I want to talk to you about this amazing song that, for me, music is one of the ways that I can just really experience my faith and feel that connection to God. And so this song makes me weep. And I'm sure it will do that when I read you the lyrics. But I want to encourage you guys to just Google it. I might even put a link to the Google, to a YouTube video in the comments so that you guys can listen to that song. God did not bless me with the gift of having a good voice, so I will not sing it for you. Okay, so excuse me, we're in Matthew in chapter 18, and at this point, I believe that Jesus is talking to the Pharisees who were kind of grilling him and putting him on the spot about his identity and what he came to do, which was to seek and to save, okay? And so in verse 12, Jesus says, it's in red, so he says to them, "What do you think? If a man owns 100 sheep and one of them wanders away, will he not leave the 99 on the hills and go to look for the one that wandered off? And if he finds it, I tell you the truth, he is happier about that one sheep than about the 99 that did not wander off. In the same way, your Father in heaven is not willing that any of these little ones should be lost." And he's referring to to children, but also we're God's children too. So he's referring to us. In Luke 15, 3-7, I hope this is encouraging to you guys. I have just this one big thought that sort of sums everything up. So stay with me, okay? And if you have to come back, if you have to hop off, come back and watch it on replays. The crafting part is way less important than the Christ part, in my opinion. Okay, so in Luke chapter 15, verse 3-7, Jesus is telling the Pharisees this parable, and it starts by saying, verse 3, then Jesus told them this parable. Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep. I tell you that in the same way there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. So, so the point of this one parable that is recorded in both Matthew and Luke is that it's not the idea of Jesus leaving the 99. It's the idea of Jesus loving each one of his sheep, and we are his sheep, individually. You know, he doesn't love us en masse or as a group. He loves all Americans. He loves, you know, all males, all females. No, he loves us individually. He loves... it does not work that way. So he loves each one of us individually, and he goes after the one person. And you guys, he is seeking your heart, whether you know it or not, whether you know him or not. That is what Jesus wants. He wants that intimate, loving relationship with you. He wants to provide salvation for you. He does not want eternal separation from you. And he's not asking anything of you except to receive the gift of salvation. So he is going to go after the one sheep. Imagine we are sheep. I did this study a few years ago comparing humans to sheep, and it was really interesting. Sheep are really stubborn animals, apparently. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with sheep, but back in these days, people were familiar with how sheep behaved. They're stubborn. They will wander right into danger. They are kind of stupid. They sort of follow the crowd. And we are a lot the same. So he will go after the one that is vulnerable and alone to save them. And two thoughts on that. I had a friend maybe 20 years ago say something to me that I will never forget. She said to me that she didn't think that God cared about whatever the one little silly issue was that she had, something she was upset about, that God didn't care about that. He had way too much more on his mind, way too many more world problems to be concerned about than this one little thing that was bothering her. And you know what? That could not be further from the truth. Yes, God does have a lot, there is a lot going on in the world, but he is infinite, and we just cannot fathom how he can have created the universe with his breath and knows the number of how many hairs we have on our head, and loves us and cares about whatever that silly little thing is that's hurting us. But he can. He is immense and intimate at the same time. And he doesn't love humanity as a group. He loves us, each one of us individually. I hope that makes sense and that isn't just a whole bunch of gobbledygook. I also am remembering this sermon that my pastor did many, many years ago, where he was talking about how Jesus died for each one of us individually, and that if it was just the one, he would still have done it. And the illustration that he gave us that has stayed in my mind all these years. It's so funny how certain things are just in concrete, because I'm a visual person, and that kind of thing really helps me to understand. He said that when we're at the grocery store and we're tempted to be irritated about the person in front of us who's taking too long or is rude or whatever the situation is, that we need to remember that Christ died for that one person, that Christ loves that person in front of us at the grocery store that's bothering us, or that's just a nuisance or whatever. But that visual of the one person at the grocery store has just really stayed in my mind as a good visual about this idea that he loves us individually. He loves Hiedi Scott. He loves you too. He loves everyone that you love as well. He even loved the awful people that put him on the cross, that the people that scoffed and spit on him and kicked him and cast lot for his clothes and then mocked him when he was up on the cross. He loved them. While we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. So that is really what this parable is about. It's about salvation, and it's about the individual, the one, being as important as the 99, and how Christ will go after the one. And the thing is, we are utterly incapable of saving ourselves. Jesus is so intent on rescuing us that he laid his life down for us. So I just want you guys to remember that. And I want to, and this is maybe a little bit weird, but this song is so amazing. I really wish I could sing, so I would sing it to you, but that would be very bad. So it's called The Reckless Love of God. Oh, I can't remember the name of the singer right now, but I'll put it in the comments. And this is how that song goes. And forgive me, because I know I'm going to be weepy, because I am a church song crier. Music is something that just really touches me. So it starts out saying, before I spoke a word, you were singing over me. You have been so, so good to me. Before I took a breath, you breathed your life in me. You have been so, so kind to me. Oh, this is the chorus or the refrain or whatever. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights until I'm found, leaves the 99. I couldn't earn it. I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. And the next part goes, when I was your foe, I mean, as sinners, we are Christ's foe until we receive salvation. When I was your foe, still your love fought for me. You have been so, so good to me. When I felt no worth, you paid it all for me. But you have been so, so kind to me. And then it goes back to that part. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99, and I couldn't earn it and I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Then this part, the next part is so meaningful. And I'm sorry if I'm just rambling, you guys. There is no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Oh, it chases me down, fights till I'm found, leaves the 99, and I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it. Still, you give yourself away. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love of God. Isn't that beautiful? You gotta listen to this song. You can watch it in many different, with different photos and stuff, or watch the band on YouTube. It is just beautiful. And so I guess what I want just to share is that, especially right now, it kind of feels like we're all stuck in this big lump of COVID and like nothing's changing. And like, does God care? I don't know if you're wondering that, if you're wondering if God cares about what this is doing to you specifically, because there are so many repercussions to each person individually. But I just want you to know that yes, God does love you, and he loves you with a reckless love, and he loves you individually. And if you start to believe the lie that you're just one of many, or just part of humanity, that it's not a personal relationship, please don't, because that is a lie that the enemy likes to tell, and it's just simply not the truth. So anyways, I hope this was an encouragement and a blessing to someone. And if you know somebody that you think this message would be helpful for, please tell them about it, or send them this video, or tell them to look for DIY Dreaming and to look for Christ in Crafting every Sunday. If you have any questions, please let me know that in the comments. If you are interested in making a t-shirt or a baby onesie or a tea towel or anything using this stencil, just let me know that, and I will get you the links to the stencil and also the gel art ink. And I hope that you guys have a blessed rest of your day. I'm going to take pictures when I'm all finished, but first I'm going to hop onto the comments and see what you guys are saying, and answer whatever questions there might be. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day and be blessed.